Niners faithful, stop what you are doing right now because the quarterback situation in Santa Clara just got a whole lot clearer and a whole lot more interesting simultaneously, and the man at the center of it all is saying exactly the right things in exactly the right way. Mac Jones, the former first-round pick, who was supposed to be the next great New England Patriots quarterback, and who instead found himself in San Francisco as a backup, has spoken publicly about his role heading into 2026, and what he had to say reveals something genuinely important about the state of this 49ers organization. The depth of the roster at the most critical position on the field, and why keeping Jones in red and gold rather than trading him away for a conditional third-round pick is one of the smartest, quiet decisions the front office has made this entire offseason. Let us break down every piece of this story right now, because the implications extend well beyond one quarterback's contentment with his situation. Start with the context that makes Mac Jones's 2025 performance so remarkable and so important to properly appreciate before evaluating what he brings to this roster in 2026. Jones was not the plan. He was never supposed to be the guy who carried the 49ers through significant portions of a season, who went into battle as a starter and delivered results that kept this team in the playoff race and competing for the number one seed heading into the final week of the regular season. He was the backup, the insurance policy, the player whose most important job in theory was to hold the clipboard and keep Brock Purdy sharp in practice. And then Purdy got hurt, because Purdy always eventually gets hurt, and Mac Jones stepped into a situation that would have exposed everyone to develop fully. Jones stepped into that system mid-season without the benefit of a full training camp as the primary starter and performed at a level that had people asking whether the 49ers had accidentally stumbled into the best backup quarterback situation in the entire NFL. The answer to that question, it turns out, was yes. And now the answer to the follow-up question of whether they are going to keep him or trade him away for whatever the market will bear is becoming increasingly clear, and Mac Jones himself is providing the most compelling argument for keeping him right where he is. His description of the 49ers organization as the best he has played for in terms of top-to-bottom greatness is not the empty complimentary language that players deploy when they are trying to say something nice without saying anything real. Looking for is the opportunity to continue developing within a system that suits his skills, to stay connected to a coaching staff that has gotten the most out of him professionally, and to be ready when his number is called, because on this team that call is genuinely likely to come at some point during the season based on recent history. His awareness that anything is possible regarding a trade, combined with his refusal to let that awareness affect his daily preparation and his focus on getting better, is the professional maturity that teams pay for when they want a backup quarterback who actually contributes to the organizational culture rather than simply occupying a roster spot. The trade rumors involving the Jets are worth examining honestly because they reveal the market dynamics around Jones and why the 49ers holding firm rather than pulling the trigger on a deal was almost certainly the right call. A 2027 conditional third-round pick for a quarterback who went 5-3 as a starter and delivered top-half statistical production is not commensurate value for what Jones actually represents to a contending team. The 49ers front office either receives significantly better than that in any trade conversation or they keep him. And since no team has apparently offered significantly better than that, keeping him is the correct organizational decision by default. The logic is straightforward, and the analysis in the original reporting captures it cleanly. If you trade Mac Jones and Brock Purdy gets hurt again, which history strongly suggests will happen at some point, you have traded away arguably the best backup quarterback in professional football for a mid-round conditional pick. That is a trade the 49ers would regret before the midpoint of the season. The Brandon Ayuk situation provides the additional context that makes Jones's stability at the backup quarterback position even more valuable than it would be in ordinary circumstances. This offseason has brought meaningful roster changes and ongoing contract conversations that have created uncertainty in multiple areas of the 49ers depth chart. Having Mac Jones locked in as the backup, comfortable with his role, enthusiastic about the organization, and reportedly performing well in the offseason program provides a bedrock of stability at the most important position on the field that the front office should be genuinely grateful for rather than treating as a tradable commodity. Some things in a roster are worth more than their market value precisely because of the stability and the peace of mind they provide, and Jones at backup quarterback is exactly that kind of asset for a team that has watched Purdy's availability be a persistent and legitimate concern over the past several seasons. The training camp performance that everyone is now looking forward to is going to be the most revealing evaluation of where Jones stands heading into 2026 and what his ceiling looks like after another full offseason embedded in Shanahan's system. Last year, he stepped into starting situations without the full benefit of starter preparation, without the full volume of first-team reps in camp that a starting quarterback needs to be completely sharp when the season starts. This situation is offering a different kind of satisfaction than drama provides. It is offering the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your backup plan is actually a legitimate NFL quarterback who has proven he can win games in your system, who loves being part of your organization, and who is not going to be a distraction or a problem regardless of how the competition and the roster decisions unfold over the course of the offseason. That kind of peace of mind at the backup quarterback position is genuinely rare in the NFL, and the 49ers have it because they made a trade that has worked out significantly better than anyone outside the building expected when it was first announced. Brock Purdy remains the undisputed starter, the face of the franchise at quarterback, the player around whom the entire offensive system is designed and the entire Super Bowl window is constructed. That is not changing, but the insurance that Mac Jones provides and the genuine starting caliber competence that insurance represents is one of the underappreciated competitive advantages the 49ers carry into 2026 that does not show up in any preseason power ranking or any offseason analysis that focuses exclusively on the starters. Mac Jones likes it a lot in San Francisco. San Francisco should like having Mac Jones a lot right back, and as long as both parties continue to feel that way, the 49ers are better positioned than almost any other team in the NFC to weather the inevitable quarterback health challenges that a 17-game season always eventually delivers. Tell us in the comments whether you think the 49ers made the right call keeping Jones rather than trading him. Drop your prediction for how many games Purdy misses this season and how Jones performs in his absence. And let us know if you think Mac Jones could eventually earn a starting opportunity somewhere if Purdy stays healthy and San Francisco decides to move on after 2026. Smash that like button, subscribe if you have not already, and we will see you for the next one. Niners faithful, let us go.